Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our culture unit for the month of April as we begin the month of April. Welcome to April, everybody. That means it's spring now and summer's coming. And if you happen to be in the UK, if all the travel bans have been lifted, you might be looking for a way to have some fun.
One of my favorite places to go in England is a pub where they serve these great dishes. I don't drink, and so that's not why I go, but pubs in England or Great Britain, they're really not just for alcohol. It's for getting together with your friends and eating some comforting food and, talking, laughing. They even play games in some of the pubs. But I love the pubs over there.
Sounds like fun. I haven't been there myself, but I've seen some attempts here in Taiwan to set up pubs, and indeed, you can buy alcoholic beverages, but you can also have a meal there. And we're fortunate today because the writer of our article is actually a British person himself.
He is.
So he knows all about it, so we're going to talk about pubs from his perspective. So let's get to it. Let's read through the entire contents of our lesson right now.
All over the world, adults enjoy going to bars with friends in order to socialize while enjoying a few alcoholic drinks. In the UK, however, pubs are so much more than that. The first establishments, primarily for serving alcohol, came to Britain with the ancient Romans. At these tabernae, people could stop for food, drink, and accommodations. This is where the word tavern comes from. Some taverns were inns where guests could stay overnight. Other taverns fulfilled a different purpose, creating a sense of community where people from all walks of life could converse freely. Now, pubs or public houses play this role. Pubs in the UK are generally open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. People will drop in not only for lunch, but also to work, meet friends, or relax with a pint of beer. Social games such as pool and darts are found in most pubs, while many also offer quiz nights. Fans of British sports, particularly soccer, will regularly gather to watch games in the pub's lively atmosphere. Furthermore, there are many family-friendly pubs where kids are welcome, though they are often forbidden from some areas of the pub and certainly can't buy alcohol. Going to the pub is a British custom. With over 48,000 licensed pubs in England alone, visitors are spoiled for choice if they want to grab a pint for themselves.
Okay, so if you're traveling to Britain or the UK, England, Scotland, wherever, you might want to go to a pub to find the heart of Britain, and that's quite nice. It might actually give you an opportunity to meet some locals and chat with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's something that's particular to Western countries, a pub or a bar. You don't really see them so much in Taiwan. Some of the big cities, of course, have clubs and bars and stuff like that, but it's not generally as common as it is in the UK. So yeah, if you want to, kind of mix with the locals and rub elbows, as we say, yeah, head to the pub and you can find the heart of Britain.
I never thought about it because I really don't care to find not find a pub, but a bar here in Taiwan. But I know two bars, and they're both owned by foreigners like us. I've never run into a bar that was created or set up by a Taiwanese person. Interesting. Well, it makes sense that you enter a pub to find the heart of Britain. I love going because it feels like you're going home. It's very cozy and comfy. It's not all fancy, but there are lots of tables and chairs, and people are laughing and talking. It's just really fun there. And of course, I love the food they serve. That's where you can go and get shepherd's pie, which is still one of my favorite dishes. And, of course, fish and chips, which everyone loves. So it says here, all over the world, adults enjoy going to bars with friends. Why? Well, in order to socialize. That's one of the reasons why they go. Primarily the biggest reason, I would say. Just easy to meet friends there and enjoy maybe a few drinks and a good meal. If you go to a bar, though, don't expect that they're going to have lots of dishes that they serve. In fact, most of the bars in America only have alcohol and maybe some peanuts or chips.
Oh, they have some things, but their selection for food is going to be quite limited. Maybe sandwiches or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe a burger or something like that, but certainly not a full-course meal. You've been to pubs before, so I guess you're kind of familiar with the food they serve.
Yeah, they serve. It's like a restaurant. It's like a diner to me.
Okay.
If I had to compare it to something in America, it's more like a diner.
Okay, so it looks like something you might want to check out there. And yes, in order to socialize, in order to just means you have this goal in mind. And if you socialize, that means you just talk to people and you exchange information. And it's usually quite fun. And of course, you can do this while enjoying a few alcoholic drinks, which would be beer, wine, whiskey, and stuff like that. Now, in the UK, however, pubs are so much more than that. And here in the next paragraph it says, the first establishments primarily for serving alcohol came to Britain with the ancient Romans. So as you know, Britain was once controlled by the Roman Empire. I think it was just the south part of the island of Great Britain. It didn't quite get up into Scotland, I guess. I'm not quite sure of my history there, but in any case, the Romans were there, and the Romans had all sorts of traditions, and they brought this tradition that resembled modern-day pubs, okay? They set up these establishments or these businesses that were primarily for serving alcohol, whatever kinds of alcoholic drinks they had at the time.
Now, back then, they called these places tabernae. Notice that the word is in italicized writing. This is a Latin word. We don't use Latin very much anymore. I sang songs in Latin because that's what some of the old lyrics are in. But this is what they called them. And people could stop there for food, drink, and accommodations. Notice here, guys, because I see this written incorrectly a lot in Taiwan. Some people will say, yeah, I got some accommodation at a hotel. No, accommodations, it's always plural. And accommodations just refers to a place where you can sleep for a night or two or three, who knows. And typically, they will have some sort of food there as well. So accommodations, but primarily when you use this, you're talking about going to some sort of hotel, motel, place where you can spend the night, maybe a B&B. But they called these tabernae back then. Now, this is where the word tavern comes from. So, yeah, you'll also see that word tavern sometimes. It's kind of an old-fashioned word. I love it. Again, some taverns were inns where guests could stay overnight. If you see this word INN, inn, just means a very small motel, hotel, maybe more like a B&B. It's a place where people can spend the night. But usually at inns, they also serve some food.
Indeed. So you'll see that word sometimes used in the title of a pub or a bar. They'll use the word tavern, which means a bar, a pub. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, taverns definitely have alcohol.
For sure. And this, of course, reminds me of an old song. Those were the days, my friend. The first line is, once upon a time there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two. Maybe you've heard that song at a KTV or something like that. But yeah, the word tavern does come from this Latin root. And some taverns were inns, as you said, where guests could stay overnight.
Yeah.
Overnight just refers to all night long. I think I should stay overnight. You know, it's kind of late. I can drive back in the morning. And other taverns fulfilled a different purpose, creating a sense of community where people from all walks of life could converse freely. So yeah, taverns served different purposes, and some of them would create a sense of community. And if you have a sense of community, that means you just feel like you all belong to the same sort of town.
Yeah, they feel like they're friends or neighbors. I live in an area of Taipei that just feels like it's a nice community. We all know each other. At least they don't know my name, but they know I've been there for a while. And you know how you know your grocery store folks and the people where you go and buy some of your food, especially for dinner or lunch. That's a community where you feel like, you know these folks, you're safe there. It feels great. So they wanted to create a sense of community with these taverns where people from all walks of life could converse freely. From all walks of life just means every social class, every ethnicity, every country, everybody's just welcome from all walks of life. So you have a big, wide, diverse group of people, and converse is just another way to say talking to someone else. So yeah, if you have a conversation, see where that word comes from? Then you're conversing. Converse is the noun form of the noun conversation, but we say it converse.
Right, so it's kind of like a meeting place, and of course they're going to serve drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But not everybody drinks alcoholic beverages, so I'm sure they have Pepsi, Coke, 7-Up.
They have pop and
orange
different
juice or stuff like that.
Fruit drinks.
Yeah, you certainly don't have to stay out of a bar or a tavern just because you don't drink alcohol. They do have non-alcoholic choices. Okay, that brings us to the midway point in our lesson for today. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜，欢迎收听今天的 English Digest。 今天这篇文章呢，要来谈谈 pubs， 而且特别谈的是英国的 pubs。 第一段我们看到第二句挖的这个空格当中，因为在第一格之后我们出现的是 so much more than that， 超过的是更多，所以在文意上应该选 B， however 比较有转折的意味。那么接下来的第二段就要来谈谈英国的酒吧咯。其实英国酒吧它是有一些起源的因为第一批主要供应这个酒精饮料的场所其实是随着古罗马人一起到英国的。我们来看一下在第二段第一行，也就是出现第二格这个地方，仔细来看一下其实这句话的动词出现在中间came to 这个地方，所以在动词之前整个都是主词的情况。第一个什么主要 primarily for serving alcohol， 所以第一个主要供应酒精的什么东西呢？像在第二个当中，其实选项里面这个 A establishment 可能对你来说有点新鲜，因为我们会记 establish 就是建立的意思，但是其实它的名词也有公共场所的意思。当然酒吧是大家都可以去的，所以第二格选 A 的答案是比较适当。接下来我们来看，那么有一些可以是客人过夜的小旅店，那么其他的一些小酒馆呢，则会发挥一些不同的功能。在这句话当中，刚好因为是第三格，我们来看一下第三格这个动词，像 A 的选项叫做 regulate， 使什么什么规律。那么 C 的选项呢是港口，或者是当动词藏匿。那剩下的 B 跟 D 大概是比较难选择。其实我们要看一下它的受词，因为受词是 purpose， 是功能，是目的，所以它只能够搭配 D fulfill 这个答案。不过我们的 D 呢 fulfill 后面也有常见的一些受词，比如说 fulfill the needs， fulfill the requirements， fulfill one's ambition。 那么 B 的 impose通常都指的是推行或强制执行，像是 impose heavy fines， impose high taxes， 或者是 impose a ban on alcohol。 所以因为搭配词的关系，第三题只能选 D 这个答案。那么这样子的一个目的是什么呢？回到句子当中，在冒号之后，我们看到的是要创造一个所谓社区的归属感。而这个社区的归属感呢，在这样子的一个感觉当中，各行各业的人就可以自由自在的交谈。所以在这句话 a sense of community 其实也是一个先行词，而 where 到后面是一个关系子句， where 就是一个关系副词，所以 people 一直到后面的 freely 都是句子完整的。 People from all walks of life could converse freely in this sense of community， 因为可以在这样子的一个社区归属感当中，就可以自由的交谈。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, let's resume our discussion about today's lesson. Enter a pub to find the heart of Britain. Britain, of course, does refer to Great Britain, which is the main island there where England, Scotland, and Wales are. But Great Britain or Britain just refers to the UK oftentimes, even though Great Britain does not include Northern Ireland, but that's a technicality. But in any case here, in the third paragraph, it says, now pubs or public houses play this role. So, yeah, this basically tells us where the word pub comes from. It's just short for public house. And again, it's a public house that plays this role. It provides people with a sense of community. And anybody can go there. Old people, young people, different genders, different races can all go in there and converse. They can talk to each other and not worry about someone listening in and contacting the police. And then you get arrested for saying things against the president or something like that.
Right. Wow, I never knew what pubs was short for. It's short for public houses, which makes sense because everyone's welcome there and you get this sense of community. So here are the hours, the opening hours, as you guys like to say here. Pubs in the UK are generally open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Notice they're not open as late as most bars. Bars are usually open to at least 1 a.m., sometimes 2 a.m. But these close at a pretty good hour. You know, they're open a little later than most restaurants, I would say. But people will drop in. Dropping in is just kind of a casual way to say they're going there. But if you drop in, it's very casual, kind of spontaneous. They drop in not only for lunch, but also to work. Yeah, you could work there. You know how people go to some of the coffee shops here or McDonald's and they sit there all day long and they do some work. People might do their work in a pub there. You can meet friends or relax with a pint of beer. I don't know. Do we use pint of beer in America? It's very...
Nah.
It's kind of a British thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you can have a bottle or a can of beer or a draw of beer, and they're usually about 12 ounces, okay, at least in the United States. That's how we measure our beer. But in England, you always hear about people having a pint. Let's go down to the pub and have a pint together.
Yeah.
And let's see, is a pint? There are 2 pints in a quart, and then there are 4 quarts in a gallon. So a pint is basically just a glass of beer.
Huh. Yeah, but that's how they measure it. And a pint is an actual measure word for liquid over there. So a pint of beer. And yeah, like Tom just demonstrated, sometimes they won't say of beer. They'll just go, let's go have a pint together. And it typically refers to a type of beer, whatever beer that is. There are lots of different kinds there. So, yeah, there are also social games. You can play pool if it's a bigger pub and they have a pool table inside. Or they might be playing darts, which I saw in the couple of pubs I went to. I never saw one with a pool table, but I didn't go to that many pubs while I was visiting. So the darts are a fun game to play. I'm terrible at that. We had one in my home growing up. I always lost. And they also have something called quiz nights, which is kind of popular in some cities. You'll be on a team and they'll have questions of trivia. And if you win, you usually get some sort of prize that the pub furnishes. And it usually is scheduled for a particular night of the week. But it's very popular, at least in England. I've seen it there on TV shows and in movies.
Right, so they'll ask trivia questions or something like that.
Yeah.
Who starred in the 1936 film or whatever, and whoever answers the question gets points or something.
Kind of fun.
So that could be fun to participate in or watch. And, of course, if you're a fan of British sports, such as soccer or rugby or whatever, you can regularly gather to watch games in the pub's lively atmosphere. Now, this sounds like a sports bar in the U.S., where they have big screens showing sports games going on. But if you're in the UK, of course, you're going to be watching soccer. Usually they go nuts for the Premier League there, and you'll be watching games there. Hey, we're going to go watch Manchester United play against Chelsea today. It's going to be a big game. And, of course, there'll be a big lively atmosphere there. People will be really into it. They'll be cheering at the screen when there's a goal and stuff like that, which probably means they're not going to be cheering very often, but they'll probably cheer during key plays and stuff like that. If it's lively, it's, I guess, 热闹, as you say in Chinese.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of noise and people having fun, and you really feel alive.
Yeah, there's lively is used when there's lots of energy and life going on. People are very active, they're outgoing, they're talking, they're laughing. So it's fun if somebody says, oh, I went to a really lively party Friday. Just means there was a lot of activity going on. Lots of fun. Furthermore, there are many family-friendly pubs. If you ever see this, family-friendly put in front of some noun, it just means kids are welcome. You know, kids aren't always welcome at every restaurant or even, I don't know, some clubs. They'd prefer you keep your kids at home because they're usually kind of loud and they misbehave. That's just because they're kids. Kids, have a hard time sitting still. So there are a lot of family-friendly pubs where you can bring your kids. They're welcome. They have those booster chairs or booster seats that help them sit up higher so they can eat some food at the table. Though it says they are often forbidden from some areas of the pub. If you're forbidden, it just means you're not allowed to go somewhere. You're banned from a place. Lots of things can be forbidden. It's forbidden to eat on the MRT or chew gum. I don't say it's against the law. It just means it's forbidden. It's against the rules, and you'll have to pay a fine if they catch you. So kids are welcome at some pubs, but there may be areas of the pub where they shouldn't go, and they certainly cannot buy alcohol or drink it.
Right, they do have a drinking age in the UK as they do in the United States. You have to be a certain age in order to buy alcoholic beverages. I believe that is also the case here. It's a bigger problem in Western countries, I think especially in the United States, where people buy alcohol in order to get drunk and party and stuff like that. But I've never really heard of young people doing stuff like that here in Taiwan. I guess they're more well-behaved here in Taiwan.
You know what, though? I went to a Bien Li Dien. It was some sort of, I can't remember which one it was. And there was a kid buying a six-pack of beer. He obviously wasn't old enough.
Right.
And they didn't ask for ID. And I said something to the clerk. I said, hey, shouldn't you stop him from buying that? And he just kind of shrugged. I don't think it happens as much here like you, Tom. I think in America, there's more of a drinking culture.
Indeed. And I must assume that there is a drinking culture in the UK as well. So they're probably going to card you or ask for your ID if you look a little too young to buy alcohol. I haven't bought alcohol in many years, but the last couple times I've bought alcohol, they haven't carded me at all. They do not ask for my ID at all because I obviously don't look like I'm 16 anymore. But yeah, they have separate areas in the pub for different people. And going to the pub is a British custom with over 48,000 licensed pubs in England alone. That's a lot, and visitors are spoiled for choice if they want to grab a pint for themselves. So if you're spoiled, of course, that means people are doing things for you all the time, and you're used to it, and maybe you get a little demanding. But this might be a British phrase here that we don't really use so much in America, but to be spoiled for choice just means you've just got so many choices, you just don't know how to decide.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool phrase. I just looked up the age limit or age requirement. You have to be 18 to buy alcohol in the UK, but if you're with your parents or an adult, you can actually drink alcohol at 16 or 17 in some of these places. They have different rules in different areas, but to buy it, you have to be 18. So, yeah, hopefully, they'll card you or make sure you're of a legal age before they sell you alcohol.
Yeah, it should also be noted that beer alcohol levels vary from state to state in the U.S.
Oh, interesting.
And I don't know what they are in England or Britain, so you might want to do some research there because some people in Taiwan just can't handle their alcohol. Some can, some can't. So if you are planning to drink there, you might want to know about the levels of alcohol in the beer and stuff like that. But it is mighty tasty, I've heard, and it's worth trying out. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. It's time now to listen to our Chinese teacher.
好，接着我们来看到第3段咯。那么现在酒吧就会扮演这种角色咯，因为英国的酒吧通常都是从早上11点营业到晚上11点。那么大家呢就会在这边吃午餐啊，有时候工作啦，或跟朋友碰面，甚至会喝一些啤酒来放松。不过大多数的酒吧呢都会有像撞球或者是飞镖，设有这些社交游戏。但是还有一些酒吧呢会有竞猜之夜，they offer quiz nights。 所以我们来看一下这里在第3段，也就是第4题第4格这个地方。在第4格我们其实逗点的前后都有动词，逗点之前的动词是 are found， 逗点之后的动词是 offer。所以第4格一定要选一个连接词。那么连接词部分在 A 是 so，表示所以。 C 的 while 呢有几个功能，可能是 when 表时间，或者是 although 虽然如何如何，甚至是 but 但是如何如何，或者是第4个功能就是表示一种对比对照，表示另外一种情况。所以根据词性的判断，我们第4题选 C while。 然而呢还有一些其他的酒吧都会提供像竞猜之夜这样子的游戏，所以第4格选 C。那么当然咯，在英国在体育盛事，尤其是足球是非常受欢迎的，所以很多的体育迷也会在这边聚集，然后呢观看比赛。另外还有很多适合家庭欢迎小孩子入内的酒吧。当然咯，小孩子是不能够进去酒吧的某一些地方，而且是不能买酒的。我们来看一下在最后面第5格这个地方，句子当中其实有一个关系子句，先行词是 many family friendly pubs， 后面的关系子句从 where 一直到 welcome 逗点这个地方。文意当中已经提到小孩子可以入内哦，逗点之后虽然 they 指的是小孩，小孩是不能够，也就是被禁止在 pub 某些区域行走。然后第5格后面看到的是不能买酒，所以小孩当然是不能喝酒的咯。看文意上这样子是比较通顺，所以第5格我们要选 D certainly of course children cannot buy alcohol。 所以有空的话，如果真的到英国，或许可以试试看到 pub 里面去走走哦。我是安娜，我们下次见。
That is it for today's lesson. Thanks for listening. And gee, I hope some of these travel bans have been lifted so we can indeed head to England and check out their pubs. Don't worry, if it's not happening now, it will happen pretty soon. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.